Next question. Next question. All right. It seems we have a constant graying of the lines between federal powers and states' rights. So what are your thoughts on this issue? And what specific bills will you submit to preserve the proper powers and roles of government? For that, we go to Mr. Tim Graney.
I think the first thing we got to do is to start cutting spending on what things the federal government should not be involved in. I mean, should they be involved in common defense? Absolutely. Infrastructure projects, things around our borders? Absolutely. The Department of Energy was created back in the 70s. What has it done as far as energy independence for us? Nothing. Department of Education, I think we can all say local control. You know, so let's begin to look at those departments that should be done away with, that we can move to local control. I think in education, that's one area. Department of Energy, we need to drill, you know, throughout our federal lands to begin to do energy independence. Beyond that, it's just what other programs do we want to start eliminating? It's going to take a long time to reduce spending in Washington, and that's what we need to work for.
All right, thank you, Mr. Graney. For the next response, Mr. Gerald Wall.
Well, you know, I don't think we need any more bills. We have a Constitution. We have a 10th Amendment that declares states' rights. Our forefathers give us a government with very limited federal authority and stronger states' rights. Do we need any more laws to determine that? No way. Let's just follow the ones we have. Is there a blurring of lines? Absolutely there are. But let me tell you who's responsible. Look in the mirror. We are the ones that allowed this to happen by electing officials who go to Washington who begin to step outside those lines. We need stronger states' rights. We need to elect people in the state government who will stand up for those rights and declare their 10th Amendment constitutional rights to state sovereignty and begin to challenge the federal government when they put forth these things on the states and say, you know what, not this time. That's what we need to do. It's real simple. The laws are on the books. Let's don't make any more laws than are necessary. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wall. And now we turn for his answer, Mr. John Gay.
The Ninth Amendment reserves the rights to the people that are not designated to the federal government, and the 10th Amendment reserves rights to the states. But we don't have anybody watching the store. Again, we've sent lawyers up there, and what did? They gave us the 17th Amendment that says that the senators are going to be elected by the people. Now, why did they do that? They saw the representatives taking special interest money from all these PACs, but to run their campaigns. Well, guess what? They didn't have a campaign because the Constitution said that the Senate was going to be appointed by the state legislature. So now there's nobody watching the store because they're all taking the special interest money because they all have these big, expensive campaigns. What you're going to find when I win this thing, Lord willing, and with your vote, that I've spent the least money of anybody probably in American history. But I've done a lot of knocking on doors, and that's what it's going to take. Is we've got to get back to the grassroots, get more of the power back to the states, back to the people, and less of the laws being made for the federal government to promote the federal government, to promote bureaucracy.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Gay. And for the final answer on this question, Congressman Ron Paul.
Well, I'm not going to try to say I'm going to spend the least amount of money in this campaign because a lot of people have sent me a lot of money and want me to campaign and win the election again. But I can say one other thing, though. I have voted for the least amount of spending and the least amount of taxes of anybody in the Congress, and that's why they call me the taxpayer's best friend. But as far as state sovereignty goes, putting an amendment in the Constitution or whatnot, it's not going to make much difference. We need people there that are determined that every single vote they take, they look at the Constitution. And I do that. If it's unconstitutional, I don't vote for it. And I had promised I would never raise taxes. If it raised taxes, I never vote for it. But Article 1, Section 8 gives us those 20 things that we're allowed to do. And if it's not there, I just don't vote for it. The 9th and 10th Amendments are great amendments, and we should follow them. But there is a responsibility for the states when we don't do our jobs in Washington, and we need that too. We need nullification and interposition. And if that would be the case, Congress would be much more cautious about passing all these laws. They never intended that the states would be so beholden to the federal government. The states should be almost independent states. The reason we had the convention was to have a sound monetary system and also have a free trade zone. Those were the reasons we had it. We shouldn't have all the federal government running our states.
Thank you very much. All right. Now we turn to our last question before we head into our closing statements. This last question, we're going to start with Mr. Wall, and that question is, define we the people. Define we the people, Mr. Wall.
We the people. That's you right there. Look in the mirror. We the people belongs to the American citizen, the patriots of this country who built this country from day one, those who stood up and fought for the right to remain free. We were endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, not by government. They were given to us by God. These rights endowed to us, the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That is who we the people are. Those rights were endowed to us. The government was a servant to the people. It's not real hard to figure out. We the people. That's a weird question, but I'm telling you, look in the mirror. We the people. Thank you very much.
Y'all asked that. I like it. All right. Mr. Gay, we turn to you. Define we the people.
Government is only empowered by the we the people. We the people are the ones that own this nation. Our founding fathers gave us the antidote to tyranny and socialism. It's in the republic. In a republic, the power and the authority reside in the people. One nation under God. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, not supply the general welfare. We have got to return this nation to a representative republic. Too far right becomes anarchy and chaos. Too far left is socialism and dictatorship. We have a representative republic as defined and constrained by the Constitution. And we have got to get back to that and let the people that are representing us know that we understand that they work for us. They do not work for themselves, they work for us, and we have got to demand an accounting for what they're spending, for what they're doing, and actions do speak louder than words, and they should hold a higher standard. They should not be, we just keep hearing things on television about what they've done to embarrass themselves, their families, and to embarrass the American people. We need leaders that are not up there for themselves, but understand what duty means. And I understand who I represent, and I am responsible and accountable to you, us, we the people.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Gay. If your response to this question, Dr. Paul.
I think we the people means that we're in competition with the government. The people are supposed to be running the government, but we are at a point now where the government is in conflict with us. Patriotism is closely related to this. So often people think patriotism is obedience to the government, even when it does wrong and you can't say anything. If they do something wrong on foreign policy, don't say anything or you're disobedient and you're unpatriotic. But we the people are the people themselves and what they believe in. And if you support the people, then you are challenging the government when they get out of bounds. But unfortunately today, we have too many people that think that the government's going to take care of us. A lot of people think that it's always the majority, but we the people, very often, just like in this room, you're individuals who are interested in politics. Most people don't get interested until the day of the election. But the people have to have leaders, and the leaders are the one who influence the majority of the people. So there is something to be said that sometimes we the people are represented by leaders who understand what the Constitution is all about, what liberty is all about, and they represent we the people. And that's why I think the Tea Party movement is so important, because they are representing we the people, even though they don't have 51% of the votes. It's a small group, but they are speaking out, and Washington has heard about it, and you're getting your attention. So I would say we the people are now having an influence on Washington.
All right. And for his response, define we the people, Mr. Tim Graney.
We the people. It's you, it's me, it's our family, it's our friends, our co-workers, it's our neighbors, it's our church-going members. It's all of us here in America. You know, a lot of times people make distinctions, African American, Mexican American, Irish American. At the end of the day, we're all Americans. We come here for a reason. We love our great land, and that's what we the people are. Those that want to be an American first and everything else second. And that's what we the people need to send back to Washington to say, it is time for those in Washington to listen to those of us, the American people. You know,